Inspe, from December 10, 1834, the date of the foundation of the family of the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Anne, established by the noble couple Marquis Carlo Tancredi and Marchioness Julia Faletti of Barolo. The Institute continued to spread its wings, to change the tears of despair into those of sweet hope, and to proclaim that God created man to be happy.
Inspired by the Spirit, the sisters during the 26th General Chapter in 1972 undertook to make one of its orientations the strengthening of the missionary spirit of the Institute.
Soon after the conclusion of the 27th General Chapter, the General Council, headed by the Superior General, Mother Clelia Berone, began the gathering of information on the Philippines and did the first contacts regarding the possibility of presence of a religious family in the Pearl of the Orient. Under the guidance of divine providence, the first group of 7 sisters, called the Benjamins, arrived in the Philippine soil on July 9, 1980. They were Sister Catherine Paul, Sister Thomas Aquinas Davis, Sister Antonia Joseph, Sister Bernadette Albuquerque, Sister Catherine Yemi, Sister Mary Calapura, and Sister Veronica Gendam, and was accompanied by Sister Margaret Mary, General Counselor in charge of missionary animation.
In this year 2020 of COVID-19 pandemic, the Sisters of St. Anne in the Philippines mark the 40th anniversary of their first mission sending on July 8, 1980 from Rome and arriving in Manila International Airport on July 9, 1980. One missionary of this pioneer group of 7 sisters is still in the mission, basking in the joy of this milestone. The anniversary means recalling my very reason for being here in the mission, when in my wildest dream I had never thought of being out of my country. That was in November 1979 when I received a letter for the first time from the Superior General, Mother Clelia Berone, that I had been chosen to go to the mission overseas. Well, that seemed to me the call to move forward with the spirit of adventure, trusting in the Lord. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41 verse 10.
They were welcomed by the Canossian sisters in Manila and stayed in their house for 2 weeks. On July 23rd, they arrived at Torrijos, Marinduque, under the Diocese of Buwak, where the 3 sisters will have its first community.
My experiences in Torrijos. I was an aspirant when I was sent there. And in the beginning, I was excited because I had to take the boat to go to Torrijos. And it was Sister Thomas Aquinas who accompanied me there. It was an old house, very near the church, and it was a very nice experience because I remember very well when I used to go there in the mountains, and we had to travel by jeepneys for 1 or 2 hours on a Sunday, and we'll be back only in the afternoon because the transportation was not different during that time. And those were the Bali people, and they were very nice. It was my first experience of apostolate in such kind of place, so it was very impressive.
On July 27, the 4 remaining sisters went back to Manila, and on the 31st, went to Cainta, where they will have their second community. They were welcomed by the parish priest, Monsignor Sant'Anna, and was brought to Tahanang Walang Hagdan, where they will be temporarily lodged until they had their own convent. The sisters, with pleasantness, sweetness, and evangelical simplicity, became instruments of God's providence and merciful love, and planted the seeds of hope through their presence and apostolate in the first 2 communities where they are present. They did catechesis and parochial activities of various types, especially with children and young women. Inspired by their example, young girls became attracted to their way of life, and vocations gradually grew.
I first met the Sisters of Saint Anne in the year 1980. I was working as the parish secretary during that time, and Monsignor Sant'Anna, our parish priest, invited them to go to the parish, to work in the parish, and so that's how I came to know them. There were 7 of them who came to the parish, and it was so amusing because a group of sisters coming from India came all together wearing the same clothes in the parish, and they really talk. For us Filipinos, it's a kind of a different way of talking, no? The Indian way of the intonation, those are quite amusing. And I had a good experience of them because Monsignor asked me to accompany them, to go around, and I used to visit them in Tahanan Walang Hagdanan. I had a bike and I would be going there with my bike, especially after my work. And they were very nice. They were very friendly. I do not know if I really like, because in the beginning I did not like. I said I do not like. For me, it was not an Italian congregation. It was an Indian congregation, because that was the first concept that I had when I met the sisters. This is an Indian congregation, because of ignorance, no? I do not know anything. So I said, no, I don't like that congregation. But the sisters, I think they were also pushed by the Holy Spirit to befriend me. And I became friends with them, and I got some sort of interest in knowing the congregation, and then I talked with them, and then they were orienting me about the congregation, especially Sister Bernadette and Sister Catherine Paul. And so with prayers, that's why I said it's the push of the Holy Spirit. With prayers, I finally decided to join the congregation of the Sisters of Saint Anne at the end, against the will of my mother. And the sisters used to go to our house to talk with my mother. And I remember one day my mother said, no, you don't take her. Take the other sister. Isn't it Sister Bernadette? And anyway, what God wills, it happens. So, here I am.
The mission in the Philippines was erected as a delegation on May 7, 1985, under the patronage of Maria Consolatrice. The seeds of hope, little by little, was planted, and in the years to come, vocations and new communities have grown.